All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new edition of Pod by the BAE, proudly presented by Homefield apparel. Guys, make sure you use our code BAE25 for 15% off your first order at homefieldapparel.com. Or if you've already used that code for your first order, use our affiliate link in the description of this podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. Great articles of clothing have come out over the last few weeks. They did drop. Unfortunately, USF's not part of it, but the code works for everything. Some really snazzy corduroy hats over the last week. Make sure you take a look and see if there's, the holidays are coming up. It's, October. By the time you're hearing this, you got 2 months to prep, folks. Get your holiday shopping out of the way. Be proactive. Use the codes that we give you for some money off to save yourself some heartache and headache shopping if people still do that in person anymore. Get your gifts all online. But more importantly, I'm Nathan Bond. Joined alongside me as always, Seth Varnadore, Robert Steeg. There's football on a Friday night. USF is hosting
a Flashback Friday.
A very, very special Flashback Friday.
Which, I mean, if you like some of those logos, you might be able to get some at a Homefield.
Maybe even wear them to the game. Fit in. How about it?
They'll let you wear the jersey, is what I heard.
Yeah, I heard it. You may be able to take over play calling in the fourth quarter if you wear it. Those are the allegations. USF hosts Charlotte, 7 p.m. on ESPN2. This Charlotte team is bad, guys. Like they're real bad. And it's going to get worse before it gets better for them. I think was probably the safe bet. They are 1-3 on the season. They beat Monmouth for their only win of the year. And that was a shootout against an FCS team where they won 42-35. They are down to their backup quarterback as Connor Harrell, the transfer from North Carolina, towards ACL, more than likely. And he's done for the year. Running backs out, offensive line out. Can't even run it too deep at offensive line during practice. It is a calamity. This is an ongoing issue at Charlotte. They don't even have enough bodies. They really misinterpreted what was going to happen with the house settlement and didn't. I mean, call a spade a spade. They didn't prepare properly. That they were just going to get whatever they were going to get grandfathered in the 120. So they're about 10 bodies short there, and then plus all of the injuries.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. So going back and looking, we talked on the Ponderosa the advanced stats, but going back and looking just now at some of the game-to-game numbers, it's really like outside because they have some decent like passing stats. But if you look at it game to game, you're like, oh, not really. Like it's really that Monmouth game,
right? Is
carrying a lot of the offensive numbers. Now they did hit some big explosives against App State, but who knows the game state of those? But this is a team that's been really, really terrible on both sides of the ball. If you watch the Rice game, you were that was on TV last week. You're kind of watching that like neither of these teams look great.
They really put anything on TV, huh?
Yeah. National TV, baby, back to back games.
Good Lord. So new head coach, I think is got to give him a little time and space. Tim Albin in from Ohio. He was at Ohio since 2005. I was in high school. Seth, I think you were a senior in high school. Is that about right?
2005, yes.
Yeah. So Steeg was in like 5th grade.
Yeah.
So yeah. So like he was there for a long time as an offensive coordinator, assistant coach. Last 4 years, a head coach at Ohio. Won the MAC last season, and then got the hell out of there. That's how bad the state of affairs is in the MAC that you take the Charlotte job after winning a conference title.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that, but I decided that might sound accusatory, so I decided to stay away from it.
Why the hell would he leave a winning program for you?
Well, he's been there for 20 years, so
Sometimes he wants a different grass, you know.
I think the job seemingly has potential. Like North Carolina's got decent football, but just that nobody's been able to quite figure it out yet.
I mean, I guess it's kind of USF-ish. They're like the 7th best.
I think the big difference is they probably don't care about football as much in North Carolina in general. So, like, if you include like the college basketball teams, where's Charlotte football rank on people's favorites? Like 8th.
Yeah.
They do a whole lot of advertising at the Charlotte airport, though, for them.
Well, good for them. And, like, I know they've really heavily invested in the Olympic sports, and I think you're kind of seeing that. Like, volleyball's halfway decent, golf's decent, soccer. Like, so you're seeing it on that side. It just has not translated to, like, the things that actually make money for universities. So it's going to be a real interesting couple of years for Albin trying to navigate a new he's an Oklahoma guy. He's been in the state of Ohio for a long time, so not really his territory. I guess it doesn't quite matter as much with the transfer portal, but talking to Hunter, he kind of wants to build it through high school still. It's going to be interesting how they're able to compete with that, but just interesting there. I think a really cool part about this on Friday, 2 hours before the game, so around 5 o'clock, we will get our first availability report.
Oh,
it is the USF's first conference game. So conference rules, state availability report. So expect that around 5 p.m. That it will be announced and released who's available, who's unavailable. Obviously, the big one for USF, Derek Bowman. He was like a good sign for this offensive line. Shifting back, I believe Zane Herring and Cole Skinner were listed as oars at right guard. So going to be interesting how that all shakes out, but it'll be fun to see maybe the full offensive line and how it was supposed to look in this game. So we'll keep an eye.
Logistical question for you here, Nathan.
Yeah.
Do you have to tell the truth on this?
You can get fined.
You can get fined?
I think so.
Well,
I was going to say, would it be fun to put Byram on there and somehow?
Yeah, I was thinking
for last year.
Put
Probable.
Byram as probable.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do about
I think they're just going to keep it as vague as possible. Like, yes, no, yes, no.
Lower body.
Yes.
Yeah, lower, upper body, lower.
No, you're not even going to get like
Not even that.
like
Not even a hockey term.
you're not even getting a hockey term. You're not getting John Cooper talking about injuries. This is like the absolute bare minimum. Like
You probably get like first initial, not even their whole first name.
Like they could be missing a leg and like unavailable week to week. We'll see.
Week to week.
So a couple of things on Charlotte. They can't run the ball. They can't really throw the ball. Defensively, they can't rush the passer or create turnovers.
Or stop the run.
So
a great combination.
They literally can't do anything. And like we're being flippant about this, but like that Charlotte team was really bad last year, and they are like worse now. And that's concerning.
I think the one area of maybe you're saying if you're a Charlotte person that okay, maybe there's one area of kind of light would be that you do have what has been a pretty good head coach, and you will be coming off of bye. So a chance to kind of see what the problems were in the first 4 games, like against real teams, against yourself, right? And maybe you can fix some of those. But just statistically, it's not a very good matchup for sure. Maybe come out and play better early, but who knows? Their statistical profile is really bad. So, and it doesn't seem to be fluky because it seems to be pretty consistent across 4 games. So, and then you got a bunch of guys hurt, so they're probably not very good. But I think you do have to give Albin some wiggle room in terms of coming off a bye. I'm sure I've been prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they come out early with a couple wrinkles or something, but I don't think they'll be there for the whole game.
And we mentioned Connor Harrell out for the season. Grayson Loftus coming over from Duke. He was 3-2 as a starter at Duke in 2023. I think that maybe the talent around him was halfway decent at Duke that in 2023. He's thrown for
a lot
just
of picks, though.
He did. He is a little turnover prone. Just under 300 yards passing, completing just over 52% of his passes, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and I think he has another fumble to his credit. Hunter described him as statuesque, and I think that's super rude to statues.
Tina Turner.
Yeah. Like, he holds the ball quite a bit. Their offensive line is atrocious. I'm putting the over-under on team sacks for USF at 4.5, and that feels low. Like, there's going to be a lot of quick game, I think, from this Charlotte team, just to try to get the ball out of his hands. His favorite slot target is Javen Nicholas, 22 catches, 270 yards, and 1 touchdown. This team is so bad. Like, if USF hadn't gotten right against South Carolina State, they would have gotten right against Charlotte. It's now, what do you do with a bye week? What kind of wrinkles can you add into this offense? How can USF really get the running game going against this is kind of what the slate's going to be like, right? You don't really face really strong defenses. Maybe Memphis, definitely not North Texas. Frauds. Absolute frauds. Maybe Tulane in the conference title game. Navy, perhaps. Like, if the trio of backs can't really get it going against this caliber, then I think we may have some issues. I think this is what you want to see. Obviously, it was great against South Carolina State, 252 yards rushing, a bunch of long runs broken off, but that's FCS. I think this is probably closer to the baseline of what you'll see the rest of the year. Can you have that level of production? Maybe not all breaking off a bunch of runs, but the consistent 5-6 yards a pop from these very talented backs. That's what I'm looking to see. I think the game's going to take care of itself, but you want to see the stuff within the numbers, kind of where can they get better. Seth, is there anything that you're kind of looking for offensively, defensively, kind of to help propel what you may see going forward in this conference slate?
I think offensively you're looking at which is a good matchup with Charlotte, because they're pretty bad in terms of allowing success rate. But I think what they may just try to put a top on things and take away explosive throws and explosive plays. So can USF methodically drive it down the field without explosive plays if they do that? Charlotte has been allowing teams to do that. So if you can't, then maybe that's a bad sign. Now, if you're not methodically driving because you're hitting bombs and big runs, well, that's great. But if it's, if you're getting off the field and you're missing throws down the field and you're just kind of you're sputtering around a little bit and you end up winning, but, you score in the 20s or 30, then it's not, that's probably not great against this level of competition, especially at home off a bye. And then I think the other thing, just hearing the goalish speak today, that I think would be, I think everyone would be excited to see is some coming out and starting really fast. It seems to be an issue he's noticed. I wonder if it's an issue of just having the ball first, because he seemed some of his answers seem to indicate that, like, we don't have the ball first, we sit for a long time and get cold a little bit. I don't know, because they get the ball first in a lot of the second halves and go down and score really quick. So I don't know if that's an issue or not, but it would be nice to see them start really fast offensively. I think they can. This is not a great team. And we'll see. I'm interested to see Charlotte's offense and see if they can hit those explosive passes they've been able to. I think if USF can take that away, they can probably just kind of snuff them out.
Steeg, anything for you on this game that kind of piques your interest?
No.
The helmets?
The helmets. Love a good flashback Friday. Now it's the unfortunate rebuild, right? Like, and it's a feels bad man situation because you're kind of like, you know, you kind of feel for a program who's kind of also been down in the dumps for a little bit. Alvin's a good coach. Seen it happen many times and get things rebuilt the right way and everything like that. It's just, we've been a part of these before. When it rains, it pours. Your starting quarterback goes out, injuries start piling up, morale's a little down and everything like that. I think for me, at least, looking at this game, because it's not necessarily a trap game, but I think what I want to see that would make me feel really good about the future of this team this season is not showing mercy and not giving them the inch to think that they can do this. Because realistically, if we're going to look at the stats and the advanced metrics and everything like that, like, I know you brought up the games on paper and everything. Like, statistically, like, we know that USF is the better team. It may not be showing it right now just because of the level of competition, but like, you can feel it in the guts of like, we are the better team by far in almost every facet of the game, much like we were the best team by far last week against South Carolina State. And you let them kind of believe in themselves for those first two drives. Obviously South Carolina State being able to drive all the way down the field on the first drive, kind of got pipped with a pick six there. So, not too much belief, but they were able to complete passes, and you could kind of see they had that funk to them for the rest of the game where they're like, oh yeah, we can make these dinky dunky passes. What I want to see is just absolute no mercy from, kickoff to wherever the gas pedal decides to be let up, preferably sometime late in the third quarter. And I say gas pedal because that's when I want Gaston to come in at that point. So that's really what I'm looking for at this point. But that's also like, if you do the same exact thing, like you let Charlotte go down the field and maybe score on the first possession, you get another 4 and out, but you end up winning the game like 63-7, then it's kind of like, yeah, that sucks, but like you're still doing the thing. I just want the style points at this point. I want the rules for cool to be like the USF thing, because right now it's, everyone knows how prolific this offense is. Everyone knows how tenacious this defense is. Let's do it for the start to the finish, basically.
And, this, I know it sounds so stupid because I think North Texas is just a bunch of frauds who are fraudulent, who are frauding. But this does technically qualify as a look-ahead spot, a trap game. Next week, you are more than I think North Texas is on a bye this week. So there is a chance you're going on the road against an undefeated team where they've been kind of the darlings of this conference through the first couple weeks. Basically, after you lost to Miami, that kind of luster got taken off of you. Even though you have the 2 best wins in this conference so far this season. And you can't look ahead to that. This Charlotte game feels to me like a big CFB 26 guy, but this feels like you want to play every game of the season, right? And then you're playing a team who was just absolutely atrocious. So you don't really do the things you normally do when you're playing on offense. You're throwing the ball across your body. You're doing stupid stuff. And then it's like still kind of competitive midway through the second quarter. And you're like, all right, I got to lock in. I've already thrown 3 interceptions. Let's just do the damn thing. This definitely has the makings of that, of kind of farting around a little bit for a little too long. And then I don't think it's ever going to be quite a game, but it's not going to be as clean as what you want it to be. Kill them before they get started. That's just the end all be all at this point. Stop the scripted drive before it gets started. Get a 3 and out. That's what I want to see. I want to see the scripted drive offensively work in the first quarter, stop the scripted drive in the first quarter defensively, and then maybe they get the rogue random touchdown in the middle of the second quarter, but it's 28-7 at that point. So be it.
That's
But
fair.
put your freaking foot down and show that the South Carolina State offense, what you saw against them, that's what you're going to get against this conference most of the time, because that's kind of the level this conference is at, especially this schedule, especially at home. So just win big, have fun, don't get hurt.
That last point.
I mean, that's really about it. Like I said, there's really not too much to kind of discuss. There's the matter of our picks this week. And just a little quick recap. Everybody hit against South Carolina State. We kind of made up the line, but I thought it was pretty fair. 27 point spread, and I think the over-under was 57.5. I picked the line. Seth picked the line. Steeg went over. Everybody hit. Seth is 4-0 on the year. I'm 2-2. Steeg 3-1. I wrote down the line like a couple hours ago, so I'm just going to double check to make sure the line hasn't moved significantly.
It's 27.5 and a total of, I think, 54.5.
Yeah, so I'm getting okay. Oh my gosh.
You go over 54.5, you could go under 55 in some spots.
I'm seeing in Hard Rock right now, USF 26.5.
Oh,
so you can get plus money at the 27. I think I'm going to be doing that. Alt lines, baby, gotta love them.
Can I throw some other fun ones out at you from former friend of the show, DraftKings?
Yes.
Okay. USF team total is over 40.5 is minus 125. If you go over 41.5, that's plus 100, so even money. You could take up to over 45.5 for plus 175. Charlotte team total is 13.5. So like 40 is basically the team total for USF. 40, 41, 13.5 for Charlotte. Get you about to the spread there, or to the total. The other one I thought was interesting, and it could be my pick if we allow it. Anytime touchdown scores. Cartavius Norton is plus 110. They're getting him a touchdown, right?
Yeah, that seems like a lock.
That seems like a goalish. Goalish will get him a touchdown in this game, right? Like, seemingly.
Yeah. You can bet this game to go to overtime. No is minus 20,000.
Jesus Christ.
Parlay. Parlay with the USF money line.
But realistically, if you were going to drop $100, would you pick up 50 cents to do so?
Yes.
Yes,
you would.
The USF defense is plus 450 to score a touchdown. Defense or special teams. Anybody else you want to know what their anytime touchdown is?
Christian Helms.
I don't think
Christian.
Jaden Davis is listed here.
Really?
Yes, plus 600.
That's honestly kind of that's pretty respectable.
Before
interesting. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say there's like some guys that play a good bit that aren't listed, but he's listed at plus 600.
The only interesting thing I found is second half total points is 23.5. That seems a little low. I feel like it's usually fairly back heavy in these types of spots.
Both teams?
Both teams.
Yeah, the first half total is 29.5 on DraftKings.
Fascinating. Okay.
I mean, we're getting into real degeneracy.
Yeah,
here.
we are getting into really. This is what ping pong has done to me.
All right.
Yeah,
Steve.
23.5 and some 24.5, 23.5 second half total.
So the line, we'll call it 26.5 because that's what it's at Hard Rock right now. And then the over under is 54.5. What you got?
Oh, over. Again, if I've learned anything from my European table tennis betting, hammer the overs, especially with this USF offense. Just in general, like 54.5, I feel like is not that much for USF's offense just by themselves. And then you have to factor another team potentially scoring points. So give me an over.
Seth?
Yeah,
I'm really mulling that Jaden Daniels plus 600 right now.
No, it sounds crazy. I think I'm just gonna lay them. I'm gonna lay the 26.5. I think it's possible Charlotte doesn't score any points. So that's what would scare me off from the under or from the over. So I'll take USF minus the 26.5, which is kind of odd in a conference game, a huge number. But I would also side card. I think as a show, you should take Cartavius Norton plus 110 anytime touchdown score.
Yeah, give us a freebie on this one.
Yeah,
we're putting all this month's Patreon on Cartavius Norton plus 110.
And then I'll do USF minus 26.5. And then so I think 27.5 is a steal. I may bet 30.
To win by 31-36 is plus 425 if you want to get in that little range.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. With that being said, I've got to go ice my foot. It is in searing pain. The bruising has gone up above my ankle. So with that, we will see you guys Friday. Be safe, be smart. If you're playing golf, wear ankle braces. Watch out for sprinkler heads and divots, and be careful out there. You'll never know when the floor will come up and bite you. But with that, have fun. Enjoy your week. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.